The only other thing is, if this happened before, there would be a record of a check.
Right. It did not happen before. And I'll tell you why.
Okay, well, that's all I got on it, other than
All right.
probably by next week's meeting, we need to figure
All
out
right.
how this works.
So, first of all, I hope Mr. Amore realizes I want everyone to be treated fairly, respectfully, and equitably, and get compensated for what their job entitles them, and otherwise, no more, no less. That being said, you run into a problem here. We passed a resolution that all FOIA requests, like prior boards did, go to the FOIA coordinator, in this case, Supervisor Bertrand. All FOIA requests, not specific to building, not specific to any department, but all. It is my understanding, what I'm going to be reading here in a minute, and I have been, not really criticized, but questioned because I use the internet a lot for research. But as I've always stated to everyone, it is a compilation of information compiled through different sources, and it is up to the user then to backtrack, if you will, and make sure and clarify, make sure all that information is true, which I have done with the information I'm going to present and through the MTA and other organizations. Anyone who has access to BS&A should be able to pull up a building permit or otherwise lickety-split. So some of the things, just for the record, that I pulled up, and I'll even read the questions. I wanted to know, can a Michigan township pay an employee for something without board approval? Generally, no. A Michigan township cannot pay an employee or official a new compensation, salary charges, or extra services unless those extra services are authorized and approved beforehand.
Is this MTA?
This is right from their source, and then I clarified with them what I'm reading.
Okay, and their first word was generally.
Generally, no, but there's more to this. Okay. And Robert Amore was not approved to be a FOIA investigator, researcher, or otherwise. The Township Board must establish and authorize all wages, salaries, compensation. We know that via formal vote, approved budget, allocation, otherwise. If an employer or elected official takes on tasks outside their standard job description or statutory duties, the board must approve this beforehand. Once again, he was not approved beforehand to have to do all this research, because we passed a resolution like prior boards that it goes through FOIA coordinator. And then I asked, can a Michigan township pay an employee for a job after the fact? Different way of wording it, without board approval. No. A Michigan township generally cannot pay, there's that word again, cannot pay an employee or official for a job after the fact without prior board approval or an established budgeted compensation framework. And let's see, and I asked MTA about this, there's an after the fact risk. Paying funds without board approval beforehand or valid appropriation of job duties can violate public accounting standards and local governance rules. So then I asked, can a Michigan township pay an employee for a job after this job is finished? Just another way of rewording it, and this is where I got more information. No. A Michigan township there's no generally in this, a Michigan township cannot legally pay an employee or disperse funds for a claim or project without prior or explicit township board approval, section MCL 41.75. And that didn't happen. And then I went into further because for me, I have a question, and it's rhetorical at this point for the entire board. Has anyone on this board had any oversight in the building department whatsoever? Not to question anyone's ability or their duties, but I wanted to know, and this brings up the point that anyone who has access to those records, and to Clerk Pern, I think he kind of mentioned this, all the money, it goes to the township, not the individual person. We never allocated a FOIA coordinator to get any compensation whatsoever. And if someone chooses to do that, well, maybe they should have come to the board first and asked if they were going to be compensated, because it's never been done before in that sense. So I wanted to know, where should all zoning and building records be kept in a Michigan township? And I clarified this through the Michigan legislator, people I know, and MTA. In a Michigan township, zoning and building records must be kept at all times under the legal custody of the township clerk at the township hall or official municipal office. Though active day-to-day files are often co-managed and housed with the specific building or planning zoning departments under Michigan law, These files must be safely protected from hazards like fire, theft, or water damage in the township clerk's office. Under Michigan law 4165, the township clerk is the default legal custody or custodian of all records, which means, once again, any FOIA request for building should not go through Robert or Morris seeking compensation. It should go through the clerk and or the FOIA coordinator. And then there's also the retention and compliance rules. Township must comply with the state of Michigan retention guidelines, specifically Records Management Services Guideline number 10 concerning planning, zoning, and building department files. Once again, inside the office, which to me reiterates the fact that the money collected for FOIA requests stays with the townships. And I pulled up the revised statutes of 1846 that clearly defines the township clerk duties and his responsibilities for overseeing all those records. And then I wanted to know, are Michigan township building permits generally subject to a FOIA request? And the answer for this is obviously yes, because it is a matter of public record. All those records are a matter of public record. But I checked out a few other townships in the state of Michigan, and I wanted to know, do Michigan townships generally charge for looking up building permits and or zoning permits? And the answer, and I clarified this with MTA, is no. Michigan townships generally do not charge a simple fee just to search or look up whether a building permit exists for a property if you do have a quick check in this, and anyone basically who has, in our case, access to BS&A. So for me, the question isn't whether or not he should be compensated, because I don't believe he should. We shouldn't be spending taxpayer dollars when someone goes outside the scope of their listed duties per se, and then want compensation for something that was never approved by this board in the first place. Now, if this board chooses to pass a new resolution that anyone who does any research gets compensated, so be it. But at this point in time, I think it would be retroactive, and I think it would be illegal. That's it.
Thank you, sir. I would only add that the MTA has a pretty strict view of things. That's why the word generally is used, and as you admirably stated, there's times it's not.
Well,
our attorney has told us what he believed to be legal, and that's fine. Thank you for your opinion and your digging.
well, let me ask you this. You as FOIA coordinator, do you want to be compensated? And if we compensated you, would we not have to pass a resolution to make sure you get compensated as an elected official with extra duties?
First of all, me being the FOIA coordinator is not a gimme. And I'm not real sure that it's something that I would continue. I do the best job I can based on the legal advice. Compensation, this is to me an amenity to the public. But it has clearly been stated by our attorney, no matter how many generalies there are in there, that you can charge. You probably remember back in the sewer wars.
Oh, yeah.
Where we were getting estimates of $400 to $500.
Absolutely.
You can add everything from health insurance to rent. You could put whatever you wanted.
That wasn't the question. I know.
Okay,
you can
what
charge.
I'm
know
saying
you can
is
charge for FOIA. Absolutely.
What I'm saying is that if I didn't interrupt you. Come on, buddy. What I'm saying is that the FOIA coordinator is responsible for gathering the material. So I ask also the person on the estimate who can financially do it for the least amount of money would be the person you should select for the estimate. I would not say that Ann, because she makes less money, should go down in the records room and start tearing apart, because it's not all on FOIA. The one for the seawall, I believe, was 30, 40 pages of stuff. So the charge is associated with a couple of different things there. Me personally, I don't care. But to task somebody and say, you don't get paid for this, that's a decision I think this board should make. I agree with you.
So then if somebody wants to go into BS&A and pull up a simple building permit and they have to do a little bit, so if it's a half an hour research, do we compensate them?
You're asking me or them?
I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
Because for me, the law is very clear. The keeper of all the records, and rightfully so, and I'm sure he's very aware of this, is the clerk. And if that's what the law says, under 4175 or otherwise, that then wouldn't it be, I mean, I'm just asking, wouldn't it be maybe the deputy clerk who should be looking into this with a little bit of assistance from the building and zoning admin? And I want to know, and I've been told before, that why all this stuff is not scanned into BSNA. That is the law. It has to be put into the system for township. It's a township document. So once again, I go back to, has anyone on this board ever had any oversight, myself included, I'm just as guilty, about the building and zoning department? Where are the records?
Have you seen the date on when the township started here?
Oh, I know, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That record room, and at one point you were involved in
Yeah.
trying to go through it, is full of stuff that is older than BSNA.
Oh, sure, absolutely is, yeah.
Okay. If you're suggesting that we pay to have all of that converted, that's a separate issue right now. Right, to
Oh,
me,
no,
what's
I'm
on the
not saying
table
that, no.
is us deciding whether Robert Moore is going to get paid for researching documents. And I appreciate your comment.
Well, then why didn't we put forth a motion to pay him beforehand?
How about we let some of these other people?
I'll just say, since this has never been done and there's no precedence to pay him at this point, I would just say we can't do it now. If we're going forward, you want to put something, a motion, then fine. But for this particular one, all you can do is go back and look at history, and if we've never done it, we've never done it. And
I would agree that we need to look, one of us, maybe you, needs to look back and see if this is something that happened, a continuing problem, not problem. Doug Schnell used to do it all himself. So we're branching into an area that didn't typically happen that way. And certainly we can decide, and we have till next week to decide.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I don't have all of the copies of Robert's records in my room. I have plenty of stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's many, many records, and some go back quite a ways. But I'm sure I don't get a copy of every report he makes.
And you're supposed to
And I'm
legally.
supposed to, yes, okay.
Absolutely.
I
So for
just
the last
think
2
that-
years we've been in office, does anyone know where those records are?
I would have to imagine in his room.
Oh, I
but
would think.
that's a question to ask him tomorrow when he's
Okay.
here.
Just, yeah, I'm not pointing any fingers. I just want
Yeah.
to know, where are the records? They're
I
supposed to be
believe that
scanned in.
he enters everything into BSNA. But there are also written things in that record room that are,
We need to
you
have a
make a
chat
good
with
point.
him.
At one time, we were talking about
Yeah.
trying to convert it all over until we realized there was stuff in there that was 60.
And even the
years
hard
old.
copies should be in the clerk's records, not just BSNA. That is the law.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah, anything that is signed, that is a part of the township. So yeah, so I think it would be fair to say for me, and I'll stop talking about this then, that if moving forward, we want to, put forth a motion that, hey, this has to be researched, we realize it's going to be extensive based on old records, timing, this, and this, then once again, I go back to, why are not things, just for me, why isn't money allocated first? This could have been solved if something would have come up. I don't even care if it were a special meeting, because we have plenty of those, to say, we're going to have to do this, it's going to cost us X amount of dollars. I think it would be wise, prudent and wise, if we offer up a certain compensation for Mr. Moore, or anyone for that matter, to go into the records room and do all that work. And here we are sitting again after the fact, without allocating the funds, to try to make it right. And I just don't understand why this keeps on happening.
Thank you for that. He is going to get, I believe, paid, and it's going to be in the consent agenda, I believe. I get it.
He's going to be paid for what?
For the last FOIA that he did not get paid for, because the solution was to pay him for that and figure it out from there.
We can't. The
Wait.
law says you can't retroactively pay someone without board approval. It's a violation of
It was
accounting
not
buddy.
pay him, it was a issue that he did and never got paid
Well, that's not my problem if we never heard of it. The law's the law.
for. Okay, I don't
Wow, okay, so we're gonna again allocate funds without board approval. All right, I'll make note of that, thank you.
Okay,
Well, I'll just say this, I'm not gonna be signing any check that is money that's allocated that hasn't been approved.
it comes down to whether we find out, if we can find out whether the money was there before. And I will remind you that some things can happen and be brought to the consent agenda without the board approval. And if you don't want to approve it at the time it comes up on the consent agenda, that's a separate issue. Not all things need board approval prior to action.
But when you're spending new funds on a new quote-unquote situation, this isn't a rollover situation with Rebecca Reagan stays on for 6 months, 10 months, 9 months. We know she's there for a reason, so that doesn't have to come from the board because that's already been taken care of. But accounting and budget procedures for the state of Michigan clearly outline you cannot spend taxpayer money nilly-willy without board approval on something new like this. Just because you believe it is the right thing to do, I don't care if it's 1 penny, it's their money. And to say that it doesn't have to come before the board is absurd. It's a slap in the face to the people.
I hear what you're saying.
Is there another issue, or is this, we're talking about this current one?
We're talking about that the board needs to decide how we're going to handle these in the future based on that Robert was refusing to continue to do any research because he had not been paid for the last one and stated that he had been paid by check by the township before. So we need to resolve it.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen today, and I don't want to beat it to death.
no, okay. But before the board meeting, I'll have an answer for you there, whether we can find an old check, and I will go back through those records to see if I can find any history of a FOIA payment to the building inspector.
That's probably going to be useful information.
And
Okay?
I would like to read again, statutory audit duties by the state of Michigan. Every claim, invoice, or expenditure, including payroll and reimbursements for tasks completed, must be presented to the board and voted on before disbursement, with the rare pre-audited exceptions explicitly defined by local board policy, and there's nothing in place for this. No retroactive blank checks shall take place. Completing a job or task does not bypass the requirement for public body authorization. A supervisor, clerk, or a treasurer cannot unilaterally issue a check or electronic payment for an unvoted or post-completed project without board approval.
Thank you, sir. Okay, well, that didn't take long.
Yeah.
Next. Discussion on a possible leaf blowing public-private property ordinance. And I believe this is why Mr. Zigian is here today. I have a couple copies that were sitting in my mailbox. I haven't looked at anything. Bruce, I know you had talked with Kevin. Which one of you wants to talk first about why this is something you'd like to see happen? Okay, please use, well, we're not recording, but they'll hear you. Oh, we are, okay.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to do this is because I've had 5 complaints on leaf blowing leaves in the street, leaving it there. And 2 of those complaints was from the road commission, and they're so fed up with it, they don't even want to plow it or grade it or do anything anymore. I've also had two complaints of people blowing leaves on other people's property. So I did some research on and also blowing leaves across the lake road onto the state land. So I did some research on what other townships do. And in just the state of Michigan, Michigan Vehicle Code prohibits depositing debris that obstructs and endangers traffic. Grass and leaves fall under the rule when they create hazards. And the fines range anywhere from $800 to $5,000 to do it, because the issue is, if somebody, let's say like a motorcycle person is going down the road, he could slip, he could fall. It plugs up the sewers, and that's the reason they have that. Denton was the only township that does have an ordinance and explicitly prohibits blowing yard waste leaves into public streets, and this applies to both private and public property on the street right away. We have nothing. Markey Township. Markey Township current public use ordinance do not contain a specific leaf blowing ban of streets and property or state land, but local enforcement can still apply nuisance and anti-blight rules if leaf blowing causes harm and obstruction. In Garish, I don't have that, I don't think. Garish is really strict. You can't even burn leaves there. In most Michigan municipalities, including Garish, intentionally blowing leaves onto another person's property or onto public streets, state land is generally prohibited under local ordinances. So it's up to us to enforce such a thing. And I'm asking the board to consider putting together a leaf ordinance, because when people complain to me, there's nothing I can do. I'm stuck.
I think we should pass it on to the planning commission, let them draft one.
I think so.
Don't have to.
No?
I already checked this, and I have a lot of information on this.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a police power ordinance under Act 246 of 1945. It does not require any prior approval or planning from the Planning Commission whatsoever. It's for the general welfare, safety, and health of the community.
So I just have one other thing to say. The other reason I'm pushing this is we have a compost site, and many people do, as you know, I work the compost, many people drop their leaves there. And we also have leaf pickup 4 times a year. So in my opinion, there's no excuse for blowing leaves in the street or blowing leaves on other people's property. And that's the other reason why I'm really trying to push this.
Well, in the road commission, I mean, I've talked to them, and the roads that get brined will not get brined if there's
Exactly.
leaves on it. So, yeah, we definitely have to do something about that. Because then I have people calling saying, why did my road get brined? Well, your neighbor blew leaves in it, and
Yeah, Dave told me today, they're not gonna do it.
No.
The people are blowing leaves on the streets.
Did any of the one you read from Denton say at the discretion of the ordinance officer?
I don't believe so.
Okay, because I know at least in my neighborhood, they regularly blow them down to the edge of the road, and they're technically in the road right away in order for the different companies that pick up leaves to come down and roll through there. And then along West Higgins Lake Drive here, people regularly blow them across the road.
I know, but they're blowing it on state, and they're blowing it on state land, and
I'm
that's
just
illegal.
saying, if they're on the road there, would you have the discretion to not do anything? Because they're headed to the state land, which they shouldn't be there anyway, I get it. Or if they had them down on the edge of the road right away for the company that's coming in 2 days to pick them up.
Yeah, that's another story, Paul.
I'm just saying, if it doesn't say you have discretion, you're gonna get in a situation where you're more rigid than you might wanna be.
No, I understand that, and I've seen many people where they blow the leaves on the street, and then they have the contractor come by and they pick them up, and that's fine. I'm talking about the people that, Cleveland Street, where I had major complaints, where the guy literally blew them in the middle of the street this high and left them there. That's what I'm talking about.
I generally, on any ordinance, I'm in the same place I always am, at the discretion, at your discretion.
Okay, well, it's my decision that we should
without
do
board
it.
influence.
I feel we should, I believe we should move forward, and I hope to have it in place by October 15th.
We'll just add.
you're asking a lot,
couple
Bruce, to
places
have it
down.
by October
I'm sorry,
15th now.
I know you guys got a lot on your plate. I apologize.
No, there's no reason it can't be. I'm just kidding with you. I think we can do something up. I mean,
The road as we go this way, some of that property is owned by those people who are blowing those leaves onto that land. The evidence, the 4 new garages that went up there this year, big garages, boat storage, that's all their land.
Yeah.
When you go down this way, I think that's all highway department and.
Exactly.
That's a different story, but, you know, I'm not there. I do my own leaves.
Well, thank you for
Well, now
listening.
I'm gonna chime in. You can stay there or go, either way, I'm gonna chime in.
Thank you for listening to me.
All right. Yeah, I 100% agree, Bruce, and this is right in my wheelhouse, because I've actually had to deal with this before years ago, and I learned a lot from the prosecuting attorney up here, and I've dealt with this once in Ingham County through the East Lansing State Police and Ingham County prosecutor. So, once again, I did a bunch of research in the last 24 hours, and I asked about Michigan laws blowing yard clippings and waste into the streets, and there is no statewide law in Michigan that explicitly bans blowing grass clippings or yard waste into the road. However, it is frequently restricted locally.
So that I'm clear, this is the AI answer or MTA?
This is, once I said it again, so I don't have to say it every time, I do my research, and then based on what I read, I then reach out to other entities, my legal friends or MTA, to get clarification to make sure what I'm reading is not a bunch of hullabaloo stuff.
So MTA is supporting what you're saying?
No, they're not
Okay.
supporting me as much as it's factual.
They're supporting
No,
what you're stating?
they're supporting what's in writing that even has their name on it, even though it came up through AI. AI is,
Okay.
and this Gemini, it's nothing more than a compilation of opinions out there from different law firms, MTA, this, and this. So, once again, it goes back to it is up to for the user to do their due diligence when you read something to make sure you get clarity and clarification and to make sure it's factual. So, that's what I did. And then I wanted to know about blowing yard clippings into neighbors' yards. And this was confirmed. Again, intentionally blowing or dumping grass clippings onto a neighbor's property be considered an unlawful trespass or a private nuisance. And there are restrictions in place for that if you have local ordinances. There's something called a natural fall, and this is what I had to do with. If they don't say God anymore, but if by an act of God or nature, debris falls from your trees onto your neighbor's yard or vice versa, that is now refuse. You do not have the right in Michigan to take that refuse, gather it, and put it back on your neighbor's side. That can't happen. It's a violation of state law because it is refuse at that point. And then I think some of this is repetitive. So let's go to the ones where I found there are state littering statutes. I asked if blowing leaves into your neighbor's yard, what's the Michigan statute? So MCL 324.8902, which is not an opinion, it is fact, just so Supervisor Bertrand understands.
Thank you, sir.
And it says, Act 451 of 1994, Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act. 324.8902, paragraph 1. A person shall not knowingly, section 8902. A person shall not knowingly, without the consent of the public authority, have supervision of public property or the owner of a private property, dump, deposit, place, throw, or leave, or cause, or permit the dumping, depositing, placing, throwing, or leaving of litter on a public or private property or water other than property designated and set aside for such purposes. MCL Section 750.552A, Act 328 of 1931, and this was directed to me, and this is what I had to use years ago. Any person who shall dump, deposit, or place any filth, garbage, or refuse on the grounds or premises of another without the specific permission of the owner thereof shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. There is absolutely no reason why we can't put something together, even citing what is state statute. It is not an opinion. It is not AI. It is not speculation. It is not conjecture. It is the law. And I think we should move forward with something like this.
Just a general question, do you support that we do a leaf ordinance?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, all of that besides that, why don't we just steal Denton's and tailor it?
Well, I want to go one step further, and here's why. And it's
I knew there was something, okay.
Yep. No.
What
no,
is it
no,
you
no,
want
No,
here?
because this happened to me up here, and it was a huge problem. So for 10 years, I had to watch my neighbor have every frickin' tree service dump truck in the area bring yard waste, and even the county. And I called the county numerous times. I got a lawyer involved, but I didn't have the money to fight. And they built up a parcel like a traditional double lot, from a parcel that went like this, let's say a 30, 45-degree pitch, with all of that yard waste and debris, so now it's perfectly level. For 10 years, I had to watch that happen. I got friends of mine from Michigan State to come up to assess the vermin and the varmints that were living in that stuff, infiltrating my property. When it would decompose, it reeked, it was nasty. I found out under the Environmental Protection Act, and most municipalities have this in place, you are not allowed to use a residential property as a compost dumping site. And that's what happened for years, and I just didn't have the money to fight it. I want to take it to the next step, that there shall be no excessive dumping of yard waste, debris, or otherwise on any, in this case, we'll say R1 residential property. It brings environments and vermin and bacteria, and I mean, it's disgusting.
I understand you more now. I don't know if you want to try and get that language added into a pretty much a staple policy that Denton's using, go for it. What else do we need to talk about here today on it as far as moving forward?
Well, we could take a simple, if so desired, a simple vote on the idea of just.
No, this is all so that we can think about, at least for me.
Well, shouldn't we take a vote about moving forward on it?
My intention is to vote on these things next week and to have the discussions today with all of us present, so nobody next week is unaware of what we're doing.
I say we vote on it while all 5 people are here, because like I said.
Not the actual ordinance, just to move forward,
Yeah, just
correct?
to-
Yeah,
let's put
just to
something
examine it.
together.
Yeah, just to examine it.
Yeah,
A motion to formulate the
Yeah.
ordinance then.
I-
I think.
If you want a motion, we can. I don't know that we need one, but we can do that. Why don't you make one?
Well, I mean, it makes it kind of formal. And we understand this does
If
not
you
go
want
through
formal.
planning, correct?
yes.
Okay. All right, then I'll put forth a motion that we entertain the idea of compiling a yard waste / leaf blowing ordinance. Is that good enough for right now?
Sound good? Second.
Keep going.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, any discussion? Any more discussion?
No.
All right. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, number 3. A couple of these are fire department requests from our fire chief. The first one is that the fire department chief requests approval of Alan Bodett as captain and Harry Johnson as fire training coordinator. I'm going to separate them. So at the request of the fire chief, I'll make a motion that we approve Bodett as captain for a rate of $200 bi-monthly. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a second by Hops. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none. End the discussion. And could we have a roll call, please? Clerk Byrne.
Sure. Treasurer Hopper.
Yes.
Trustee Monet.
Yay.
Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Clerk Byrne, yes. Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. Okay, motion carries 5-0. The second one is that I'll make a motion that at the request of the fire chief, Harry Johnson be approved as the fire training coordinator for a rate of $25 bi-weekly. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
Any discussion from the board?
Yes. So, what does that specifically entail? He's going to try to get people, he's just going to coordinate people to go to training, or is he doing the training, or, and if he's going to do the training, what qualifications, because I've never seen anything, what qualifications he would have as far as state certifications to be a trainer?
A training coordinator does exactly that. They coordinate training. People in fire, people in law enforcement.
Yeah, okay.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. They have to have different kinds of training. A training coordinator looks at what kind of training each person has to have and ensures that they have their training and shows places where they can get their training done.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I just wanted to know if he's going to be doing the training. So thank you.
If
This
not
is
knowing
the job
that,
as training coordinator.
yeah, to me, coordinator is what he just described.
No, absolutely. But all things being equal, nothing's ever.
Okay, and if
Sometimes.
that impacts your vote, it does.
So his question is he going to be doing any training?
They're not asking to make him a trainer, they're asking to make him a
Okay.
training coordinator.
All right.
Do I have to know if he knows how to give CPR? I mean, you just making things difficult.
Yeah, I just don't know if anything. No, I'm
Okay.
asking questions because I don't. That's not difficult. If difficult is asking questions, no question is a stupid question if you don't have the answer.
You've been given the answer several
I'm
times.
satisfied that coordinator means that he's going to coordinate, and I understand your concerns. Anybody else on the board have any comments about this? Okay, hearing none. On the motion that Harry Johnson be approved as fire training coordinator for a rate of $25 biweekly, we have a roll call, please, Clerk Hearn.
Sure. Trustee Monet,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes,
clerk Kern, yes. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
and treasurer Hunt.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries 5-0. Next is number 4.
Could I interrupt you for 1 second?
You sure can,
I just
sir.
wanted to show everybody here something I got in the mail the other day. He's already started his classes, something we tried to get done for a year and 3 quarters. He's got one scheduled for next month as well.
Very cool.
So he's got his first certificate. Chief Fay.
It wasn't me. No, you're right. It was Chief Fay's talking.
Yep.
Okay, number 4. There's a handout that should look like this in your packets.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, I didn't give one to Treasurer Hops because I guess he got his yesterday. This is the new employee handbook, and I do not want to, my intention today is to make sure that this gets physically in the hands of all the board members so that we can then rationally and thoughtfully discuss it next week and approve it for use. You have had this before, it was emailed before, I've looked at it, we've talked about it, some was highlighted in yellow. To me, this is just a finality to make sure that we can vote and everybody have the same information and the same rationale. I believe that you can spend your time looking at it and figuring out what questions you might have about it. Certainly forward them to me one-on-one or to Pam, short of an open meeting act violation from now till next week. And that way we can make a informed vote and get her done.
Question, do we
I'm-
have, oh, go ahead, Kevin.
I've already read it and I've got already a couple changes that I would like to see in it. So I'll just send them to you and are we gonna vote on these changes or?
I don't,
if they're-
it would be my hope that changes can be made and we can then vote and decide that that was an appropriate change or not.
They're minor, only a couple of them.
The main ones I had were the references to marijuana. That's all old stuff. Doesn't need to be there. And then this also, it's probably not here, but the sick leave and the personal time that we were mandated by the state is also probably not right here, but that was another part that we had to get done.
I'd like to throw in 2 cents and applaud Pam's effort. She worked with Courtney, she asked opinions of everybody else in the building, all the ladies, and got a real number of good answers, and they adjusted some things there. So yes, please take the time to read it and offer those possible changes either to the supervisor or to Pam.
So, you guys got that.
Quick question. Is there a section or is there a way to find out like what are some of the significant changes in this copy as opposed to what the old handbook said? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll email it to you, it has all the yellow,
Okay.
things that are added, lined out stuff that isn't with plastic.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And-
And just because it was mentioned, what was the caveat pulling the language out about marijuana? I don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
It used to refer to medical marijuana, and now that marijuana is legal, it's under the same as the alcohol and marijuana. They're both not allowed to be used.
And it says that in here? Oh, I hope so. Geez, I thought maybe you said you got rid of it. Like, no. Yeah, right? We need it.
Change the medical marijuana part.
Got it.
Is there a
Okay.
problem with that?
Yeah, it makes me wheeze. I'm allergic to it. Yeah, big problem.
The reason for revising this, other than updating it, is because of the Earned Sick Time Act.
Yep.
And the fact that we have to put that in our policy that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
There is also, I refer to a policy within that employee handbook, and I did give everybody a copy of that policy, which would also have to be approved by the code.
Is the copy of the policy in this hard copy? Okay.
Should be on the back of everybody.
And we should really you should take the mic by you.
Sorry.
Well, it's all right now, but I mean,
Thank you.
for the record, that's important stuff.
Okay. No, that's great.
Okay,
Okay.
so you guys got it, and we will move forward.
Does anyone else want the drafts with all the stuff in it? You know, 'cause I can just send it out to everybody.
Didn't you already do that?
I thought I had, but
I'm pretty sure you did.
I just
In
mentioned
your
my email.
defense, this has been going on for 6 weeks.
I just checked my email. But then again, I mean, my email's always been weird. I just checked my email a couple nights ago and I went through I didn't
Well,
see that
That
specifically.
is why you're getting a personal copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
It's
go. That's
easy
fine.
to
Thank you,
send it,
Pam.
Pam.
Seriously, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll-
Okay, so you can let Pam know if you want it emailed to you again. Number 5,
Will do.
there should be a copy of a Parks and Rec Committee notes. And this is just notes, we didn't make any decisions. But on the agenda, Kevin and I have talked back and forth on this a couple times. I think that in regards to an update on the park rides and the fall material, I was looking through the emails, the last email I got from Mr. Gambos actually said, were you able to have the maintenance crew get the fall material back in under the swings? I've said before, I have concerns with the grant money and the stuff needs to be done, but there is some issues about exactly what am I talking about. So this week I'm gonna go out there and take some pictures and I'll do part of it, if not all of it. And then I'll be able to send the pictures to the maintenance crew. And hopefully we can move to where we are doing that weekly to satisfy the ADA complaint and the risk control manager, along with the power plant grants. So it's just notification. So the notes covered a couple of things, nothing dramatic right off the bat. Clean water presentation is September 5th. Some stuff we talked about, there was 2 people missing, nothing major. But because Pam has offered to come in and somewhat take notes, there you go, you got a copy.
I'd just like to say, since it's not on the agenda, will someone for the audience please bring up the fact during public comment why we can't get into the compost site? Or, the recycle. I just tried again this morning and it was all blocked with all that debris and I don't know what it's doing there. So,
I can answer, you can drive around the debris and still get in there. and
Both
have-
sides of the pile.
Both sides.
I couldn't this morning, to be quite honest. There were 7 trucks there and I couldn't get around them. So I don't even
You
know what
can't,
it's there
well, you're not
for.
gonna be able to come in from the back, you gotta drive up to it and go around the first truck.
Yeah, I couldn't there this
Okay.
morning. But that was super early. I just don't know what it's doing there. I never heard of this before.
Well,
What
you
the
were
ro-
at meetings,
Not for that one, I guess.
Yeah, they're leasing the driveway from us for $3,000. And
They're working on the express.
they're doing 127,
They're working out there, but
the
Except they got a ground.
resurfacing it, and they use that real fine stone. If you go over, military, you'll see all what they're doing on both sides.
Cool.
They should be done by the end of this month for sure. Yeah. I told them to leave it like that, just stripe it.
Put
Don't
some
even
lines
pave
in,
it.
call it good.
that's two different
It's-
things, yeah,
yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
county. The county's gonna chip and tar it again, because if they do that, it extends the total lifespan. Grinding it down and resurfacing it, you get another 6, 7 years kind of thing. But it's not the same thing as the gravel in Park 27 there, that's,
We had many smiles on the faces when somebody thought it was old 27 that was gonna be redone a few months ago.
Yeah.
Everybody was big grin. No, it's the real 27. They did, on the south entrance to Higgins, they did all 4 exit things. They're all done. They're all beautiful right now. One of the lanes is done. I'm not sure everything is done there heading towards Houghton Lake, but it's certainly an improvement.
Yes, indeed.
and also, we get paid, but then I'm overjoyed that if they can spread that better material over that road, they're supposed to leave the road as in good a shape as it was, if not better. They have excess material, we end up with it. That's good. You know, when you drive in, there's those holes there, and then other places. If they put 2 inches of that stuff across all of that, that'll last for 10 years. We'll see.
Cool.
Okay, next, number 6 is, you should have a handout.
Yep.
Okay, this is the resolution, the State Disaster Contingency Fund grant. Pam worked hard on pulling this together. Amanda and Courtney worked hard on getting all the information together in the first place. It was submitted last week with the understanding that we would pass this resolution, and we are now in the running for considering money from the state of Michigan, not FEMA, for the ice storm damage, not the flood damage. 2 separate things. So if I'm right, somewhere around 14 grand we had in the ice storm stuff. You know, with wages, fire department staying open, emergency stuff we had to do. I have hopes that we get some of that back. It'll be a year, I'm sure. But this is the last piece of formalizing that we submitted for it. I don't think it's necessary to read the whole thing. This is off a template in the first place, right? Okay. I'll just go to the bottom. Now therefore be it resolved that Lyon Township requests the governor to authorize a grant to Lyon Township from the State Disaster Contingency Fund pursuant to Sections 19 Act 390 Public Act of 1976 as amended. Furthermore, Paul Bertrand, Lyon Township Supervisor, is authorized to execute for and on behalf of Lyon Township the application for financial assistance and to provide to the state of Michigan any information required for that purpose. So that already happened. So it is submitted. This is the formality. So do we have a motion to continue and approve this resolution? I'm
That
sorry.
wasn't a motion?
I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'll make a motion that we continue and move forward with approving this resolution 2026-09 for reimbursement on the ice storm damage. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion by the board?
Yeah, I just want to know, is this public act an opinion, or is, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I second.
Okay, any discussion, further discussion?
Sorry.
Okay, safety first. Let's have a roll call vote. Make sure we all know what we're doing here.
Okay, Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Clerk Byrne, yes. Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Trustee Monet,
Yay.
and trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries 5-0. Action taken and incorporated in the minutes of the meeting in Lyon Township, August 12th, 2026, and this one needs your signature.
Yeah, I'm signing one now, and I'll give you an original, and a Ralph file original. You'll get a copy, and I'll give
All
something to Pam.
That'll work. Okay, number 7 is to distribute, and you should already have this too. A draft of a purchasing policy to be discussed and hopefully voted on at our monthly board meeting next week. Similar to the employee handbook, I wanted to give you guys this thing first. I took the liberty of changing some things in there, filling some things in, the major one being that it's not the supervisor who is in charge of all of this, it's clerk. So we got this from our attorney who said you can change that any way you want, it's just a matter of the board approval. The important part is probably in the, 4th page. The stuff that needs to be in place for the grant approval at Samoset and Park 27 when they're awarded in 2026 late summer scoring. So they do a draft scoring, which is coming up pretty quick. If we don't have some of this stuff in place, in particular, if they're going to give us huge amounts of money, we have to have a policy for bids and procedures over 20 grand. Putting bids out, you're familiar with some of this stuff, I'm sure. I do not want to roll the dice and have anything get in the way of getting the money from the grant because we don't have this stuff in place. Others, certainly board members have a different opinion, that's fine. I thought it might help if I put all this stuff together, and then, again, you guys can look at it for a week, decide whether you agree, don't agree. If you got something you want to change, throw it at me, throw it at Pam. And next week, I would like to be voting on something, again, I don't care. I care about the grant money. If we are not taking care of fall material, you have to understand these people are coming from Lansing up and down 27. They can spot check us. And the fact that we should have a purchase policy in place for big money, and small money falls in there. I don't want this to go, why are we going to give them $75,000? They don't even, they've never even dealt with this kind of money. They don't have a policy. So again, not to belabor it now, it is for you to look at and review. And I will put it on the agenda to hopefully vote and come up with something at our meeting next week. All that having been stated, I don't know if you got any quick comments now, but that's the basis of it, is to make sure that we have no loose ends when the grant money, the draft, they're going to come up with a draft probably in September. At that point, I'm hoping that we are, the ratings, the sewer project was the same way. They're going to rate out whether you deserve this money or not. I'm hoping that we are in the top tier. If not, we have a chance. There's a small window there where you can supply additional information and try and bolster your case. And then other organizations that did apply for this grant may, at this point in time, drop out. They're no longer interested. So that shifts the ranking numbers a little bit. Again, I don't want to leave loose ends. I want to have this stuff done so that nobody is questioning that we have the ability to handle the big money.
2 quick questions before I analyze this any further. These should be easy. Under 2D, emergency purchases, is there a cap on that, for like a dollar amount? Has there ever been? Because it's pretty open-ended if it says,
If it's 2D,
yep. It's on page 2, yeah.
the stuff that is in italics and underlined is what I suggested we have people. There is no cap per se because you're talking about an emergency.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to make sure of that one.
But on this version, I mean, it's not that.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. And then under section 3A, and I think this is where the dollar mark comes in about department heads, can purchase up to $700 or less than $750 without prior board approval. Has it been in the past, and Pam may know this, you may know this, I'm not sure of this, under a purchase agreement, does that mean all department heads, like, I'm not so sure I like the idea, because I've never heard of this, where building department can just go make a purchase for $749 without board approval?
Real good point. I would suggest that you list who you think should be there and get it.
Well, I just want to know, has it been?
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I threw these in there in order to get this thing
Absolutely,
rolling.
yeah. Okay,
And you probably remember, because the 750 came from you.
yeah.
Long time
We
ago.
hit the middle.
That was the middle.
It was 7,500, well, yeah, I said go
So
750.
agree or not agree, I get it.
Yep.
I'm throwing it out there again, I don't want loose ends on the grants.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Any other comments from the board, or I can put that to bed and we can move on?
Okay, that's these.
Okay, number 8. Is to distribute to the board, so you should have this in your packet. Minutes from July 8th, July 15th, board meeting minutes, or work session, I'm not sure if it's both meetings. Not yet approved for review and vote to approve at the monthly board meeting on 8/19 as separate from the consent agenda. It's no secret. The history of this is we've had disputes with the note keeping, and recollection ended up partially, that's why we have videos. Then disputing things and going into the videos and trying to figure out what was actually said. And then me recently, on 2 different occasions, trying to get a policy in place that the board review the minutes, get feedback to Mr. Pern. The first one was 8 days. Second one was 14 days. I don't know if we even got a motion to a second to even discuss it. I feel strongly that it's my obligation to make sure that the residents, the board members, are all aware of what's in these things and approve them. So my point today would be to give them to you today, and again, you got a week to look at them. If there's any problems, you can certainly, or if you have any disputes, get a hold of Clerk Pern or however you want to deal with it. But I am no longer going to suggest, maybe you guys will vote that it has to remain that way. I don't want the minutes in the consent agenda. Because if they have things in them that I believe are, not conjecture, if they have things in it that are opinion, I believe strongly we should be sticking with what the board did, what the results were. And the cost of publishing these in the Houghton Lake Resorter is going to come into play. I'll bring that up next week.
So were these not approved before?
No, these are not approved. We're sitting on them. So normally it would be at our board meeting,
Right.
in the consent
Oh.
agenda would be this package of
Okay.
stuff that nobody, you know how it is. You haven't seen it, or it got.
Well, now I can cross-reference with the video. Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if voting on the minutes is separated from the consent agenda, that's going to make it a little easier for me to move forward in how I feel about this. And also for you guys to understand what it is. So I hope to, in the future, keep doing this, at the work sessions, to be able to bring the minute drafts. And in the end, you had your shot.
Yeah, and ultimately, isn't that what it's all about, is that it's been reviewed, it's been passed out, we now have a week if you want to cross-reference it with videos or otherwise. If you don't, oh well.
Yes,
I mean,
because 8 days failed, 14 days failed.
Yeah.
You had a lot more than 8 days. You
Yeah.
guys got these things in
Yeah.
your boxes
Yeah.
within
Oh, yeah,
3 days.
yeah.
I am just,
Absolutely.
I am reiterating that I walk by those boxes. I don't know who comes and picks their mail up.
Yeah,
I don't know who gets their emails or who has email failures. This is one way to do it, where, there
I
you
just
go,
didn't
it's in your
remember
hand.
Cheryl calling anyone a butthead.
What's that?
Well, it says right here, Cheryl from Resorter called 4 events buttheads. So I didn't know she called anyone a butthead.
I don't know. You can discuss that with Clerk Pern.
Okay.
So you all have them, and I think this will will help smooth things
Very
out.
good, thank you.
If I can get stuff to you in the work sessions
Yes.
and you were here,
Yeah, that should only have one T
Oh,
for butthead, not a butthead. Well, no, there are four of us that are buttheads, I'm sure.
there's 5 of us, come on.
I'm not
okay.
arguing.
All right, I just,
It could be 5 for 5, you know?
well, no, I'm glad I asked. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, keep moving.
We got it for insulins, but we can't get it for Lion.
right?
I'm sure Cheryl will say something next week. She says, "You're not one of them, I did." It's no, it's probably him.
Oh, dear, all right.
Okay, number 8. And this is for you, Timothy. You
No,
missed
no,
the,
that is 8.
Number 9.
number 9, oh, my thumb's right over it. Number 9. Discussion, in trying to pull together some of the things, I go back like 8 months, when I worked in the Forest Service, I always used to say about, we got to go through those minutes and figure out how many times we lied to the public. This is not lying, but things that we said we were going to try and do, and I know you were involved in a couple of them. So, and the third one, I think by proxy, you got voted into being involved when you weren't here.
Oh, yeah, 'cause I've never heard of the swimmer's itch issue.
I can explain. The swimmer's itch was, Marta was here talking about that we thought you being at the store, you might be hearing things more about reports.
Every day,
So that might be helpful if you were talking with Marta. This was a couple of weeks
yeah,
ago.
every day.
So without beating it to death, I don't know if you've had a chance, at the time we were talking about this, I look at the webpage a lot. You were at that time. I don't know that anybody else does. Webpage input to try and change that thing and make it a little bit better. We're still circling around that. Fertilizer setbacks, if you had any
What do you
additional
mean,
information.
our website?
Our website, several months ago, I asked you to look at it and participate with me to try and improve things on it, because you and I are probably the only people.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, yeah, sorry, it's been a.
So
it was a
not
rough
that this
July.
has to happen now,
Yep.
but I don't like to let things just die. Webpage input, fertilizer setbacks updates, and then the swimmer's itch thing came up.
Yeah, okay.
So not that you got to now, but maybe by next week,
Well,
especially the
yeah.
fertilizers.
Yeah, the webpage input, I will jump on. That's pretty easy, because I do remember that now. I do, in a sense, have a update / lack of update on the fertilizer issue. So after careful consideration and a lot of soul searching, that I have decided to not do any further research on that issue, and here's why. When we were involved with this quote-unquote, what some like to call the sewer wars, I was adamant, as you all are well aware, I'm so into what's perceived, what's legally correct, give me the scientific data, give me the proof, give me anything. And when I didn't get that, I fought very hard with those around me to make sure that it was done the right way. I have spoken to a few people who do have lakefront homes, and this isn't just about the lakefront homes, and I don't disagree with them. I would be a hypocrite to say that we need a fertilizer ban if this board in this township didn't put forth the effort to get some clear, concise, scientific data to explain the who, what, where, when, and how of it. It would go against everything I believe, because I don't believe in conjecture and speculation, because I do believe we need to do something, but he can't go out and create a situation where, just like what happened with the sewer, unfortunately, well, we're going to go back up to 500 feet. Well, based on what? We're going to go this, but these people, based on what? So without that information, I don't feel it's a lot, let's put it this way, it's a lot of time invested into something that will never come to fruition because we don't have anything to back it up. We don't have any grants coming for lake water quality studies, this. And there's a couple of people have told me when I was at the store, they're like, come check my water. I'll pay for it even. Let me know. This is why I've spoken for 2.5 years now that a water quality testing person, like I've explained before, like other lakes are doing, that actually test the waters to see where there may be concentrations of nitrogens or nitrates or otherwise, should be done. And I believe in that. I'm not in a position to just say, well, let's just go hire someone to go to so-and-so's house and test their water right there. But, I mean, there has to be some data behind it, because if it truly is only based on things, old studies, if it's truly only maybe even a 5, even if it's as high as a 10% nutrient loading, we don't know that now. And I would rather have information that's fresh, reliable, clear, and concise. So, that's all I have to say.
Thank you for that. Did you ever get a hold of the company that I had given you the information on that would test the water for presence of fertilizer? Or did it stop before you got that far?
I don't remember that. I remember, now you say that, I remember that, but no.
Okay, I don't have a problem pursuing that because that was not testing wells, that was testing lake water.
Testing lake water, yes.
Okay, I can still check into that. There was certainly a cost associated with it.
Yep.
Okay.
And once again, I hope the people think that that's fair. I really do. I don't know, yeah, here we are.
Okay, and then, I don't know if you want to try and get a hold of Marta or anything with Swimmer's Itch.
Yes,
She
it's
may
so
not,
bad.
yeah, she may not be aware of what you might have heard.
It's bad. I've seen pictures, I've seen people in the store, and every bar and jar of anything that we had has been long gone. Sold more soap this year than I care to remember. Oof.
Where are they getting this at?
In the shallow waters.
If you get in the shallow water and wreck around in there, and then
Yeah.
you don't towel off, things are gonna happen.
I don't know, I've been in the shallow water for a month, and I've never gotten.
Hey, you're not sweet enough, they don't like you. I'm kidding.
All right, well, this was a hot topic right before you were, for whatever
Yeah,
reasons, were
yeah.
unable to
Yeah.
attend a couple meetings. I think it somewhat died down, but that's probably just the amount of people that were here before. Anyway, if you want to pass on what you got to Marta, she was
John
certainly
might wanna
willing to
say
listen.
something if you could about that. Marta?
Yes, sir.
saying Marta, but you mean Marty?
Marty.
My wife?
Yeah, I thought it was Marta.
No, it's
No,
Marty.
No, it's
Okay.
it's called Marta. Often. Little confusing.
It's Marty, yeah.
I'm gonna let her know, I was talking about somebody else, but I'll let her know that, get a hold of
Ugh. It's been
Okay.
fun.
So on the other additions, as we move into them, the first one was another resolution. This is 2026-10. And this is a resolution
You
to,
missed number 10.
Honoring
oh, I
vets.
jumped right over it, didn't I?
Oh, I guess you did.
Okay, so a discussion on honoring vets from Lyon Township in some manner. I put a post out asking if people were interested in anything like this that the township might consider or would consider supporting. I got a couple of replies and some interesting information. I also heard from Mr. Monet about that this wasn't a board decision, and I get it. But for us now, maybe we can briefly discuss whether we think it is in the township's interest to do something similar that they do in other areas where they have a poster of the person's picture. I got a response, 2 people have somebody in active service. And then Sam was going to check with Post 13. And at one point, just kicking it around with him, we're talking about maybe if you did 2 people a month, one from the Post, one from there. I never got any farther than that. I did get some replies, so I'm bringing it here, whether it's something this township wants to consider doing and trying to move forward with some version of honoring our vets.
So what does this entail?
Yeah.
Thoughts? Got any ideas? I'm sure you've all been in the communities where they put the pictures up.
Yeah, but we don't have sidewalks or anything like that.
No, we don't.
In front of-
The thing that got me going on this, I was talking to my neighbor about the first Iraq War and the yellow ribbons. We got nothing going on. I personally would support any veterans thing if it's a matter of putting pictures up at the township office. Thoughts? And if nobody wants to do it, that's fine too.
I don't see anything against it, but you know me, the only thing I want to know is, can a township legally expend funds for something like that? That's it. That's all my question. Otherwise, I'm all about the vets. My brother was a vet. He's lucky to still be alive after 2 tours in Iraq. He has to wear an Ironman battery pack just to stay alive. So yeah, I'm all for it. But I just want to make sure that we can legally.
Well, we can check into
Yeah.
it if it's not where the board doesn't want to do this.
I'd get some cost or something so we know what we're looking at.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
I mean, I'm still a little confused on what,
Well, if you don't know the scope of this, how can you hope to guess the cost?
It's,
well, I just want to know if we
I'm
can
not
do
gonna
it.
go any further.
Yeah.
After he said the board didn't do this, I get it. I did. I'm not gonna pursue it any further unless the board wants to pursue looking into honoring our veterans in some way.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy cause. I just want to know, can we spend taxpayer monies for something like this?
Well, you're pretty good at searching.
I can't call the attorney, so no, I can't find out.
You don't listen to him anyway.
Well,
Go use AI.
oh, no,
use
see,
your
no.
contacts. Come on, don't tell me you're waiting.
I mean, we could have the Vet of the Month Club. Why not?
I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Something. I will consider that unless somebody has a problem with it, I would try and pursue it. Maybe Kevin can pursue what other, cost-wise. I do know there's certainly a long list of vets at Post 13. Currently active service grandkids, kids, there was, I think, 3.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to belabor it or beat it to death. Unless somebody says no, I'll keep checking. All right, hearing none. So then that brings us to the resolution 2026, 2026-010, which is the approval of Huntington Bank as a depository. Your MTI, 16 months from the time your first budget, which puts us in September, that we are supposed to at least say something. We're still with the same people, or maybe find a different bank that gives us a different deal. So Mr. Hops and I were aware of that a couple months ago, and this is what he had come up with, and I have no reason to dispute who he's chose. But again, it's Huntington Bank, that's the same bank, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Two accounts at Huntington and one at Mercantile.
Okay, so the township money is safe, it's all there, we're not spending it crazy or throwing it around, and it always has been safe. So jumping to the bottom, therefore be it resolved that Lyon Township Board approve the use of Huntington Bank as a depository for said tax collection, pool and trust agency fund accounts for Lyon Township until further notice, and the use of Mercantile Bank as a depository for the sewer debt retirement fund until further notice. At a regular meeting of the Township Board, Lyon Township, Roscommon County, Michigan, held at the Township Hall on the 19th. I dated this the 19th, but we can change it to the 12th. On the 12th day of August 2026 at, is it 2 o'clock?
Yes. 2 o'clock.
2 p.m. Okay, so I will make a resolution that the board approve resolution 20, I'll make a motion that the board approve resolution 2026-010 as stated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, offered by Bertrand, seconded by Hops. Is there any discussion from the board on this?
Other than that, the certification should be changed at the bottom to the dates in there. Clerk
You
Burns
are
gonna-
correct, sir. I suspect that we can type up a new one to match today's
I think so.
actions.
Sure, that works.
Any other discussion? Okay, then, could we have a roll call vote, please? Clerk Burns?
Sure. Trustee Detmer,
Yes,
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Clerk Byrne, yes. Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Trustee Monet.
Yay.
Okay. So the supervisor declares it adopted on the 12th, and then it would go to the clerk for signature. So if we get a new one typed up, then
Yeah.
that should work just fine. What were the other additions? Number 12, a discussion on zoning admin and what's going on with that.
Well, I guess we don't have one currently. He quit.
Yeah.
He did quit at the end of July. And Clerk Pern and I had a discussion with him on what he because of what he's getting paid. So we said, well, how much are you looking for? And then he went around through townships and got different wages. So we said, well, how about we offer him a raise and see what happens, and then we can bring it to the board if he accepts it. So we did that. He said, let me think about it. And he thought about it for a week and came back and said, not interested. So we put an ad in you put an ad in the paper. We've had 2 people come in that that are very interested in this job. So I don't know if the ad is still in the paper or we're still taking.
No, I just did one week
Just-
because we had 2.
that's it? Okay.
And then we got another, publication from Robert. After turning us down cold, he put a whole package together. Would you say it was 8 or 10 pages, Paul?
And he didn't have any
I am-
figures on
It
it,
was
so.
huge.
I am as far out of this loop as I could
Okay.
possibly be.
Well, there was no figure in there or anything of the sort. He left everything blank, and he wanted to go on salary as the zoning administrator. What he asked for from the 160 every 2 weeks, he wanted 500 every 2 weeks. We kind of came to an agreement between Kevin and I, who said, well, let's try to split that and make it about 300, 330, something like that, see if we get interest. He said he had to go home and talk to his wife, and apparently he did, but he didn't get back to us for a week. We were expecting an answer the next day or 2 days.
We just wanted to give him something
We
to
wanted something to start with.
see if that interests him, and then if it did, we could bring it back to the board, but he
Right.
flat out said no, so.
And
No,
we all did receive the letter of resignation, myself included, correct?
I think he emailed it.
Yeah. So we,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
And
so-
so we waited till that time, but unfortunately for us, it delayed us putting an ad in the paper.
Correct.
Because he hadn't officially left yet till
Right.
Friday morning.
Right.
So I called the next Monday and Wednesday and Thursday it was in.
So this has happened once before, and then he rescinded his resignation. So is his?
That's why we waited.
Okay, yeah, so is his employment status as zoning admin off the books? Like, is he
done.
reapplying? Does he
No.
want to come back? Does
July
he-
31st, that's it, he's done.
Nothing?
Because, and like, I guess after I've had conversations with him, like I said, I always wanted everyone to be treated fairly. I had contact with previous board members, and he was only supposed to be in office hours or working 4-5 hours a week, because we're such a small
Maybe
township.
4, 10 to 12.
Okay,
on Tuesday,
and the
Thursday.
issue
Yeah.
of minimum wage for me is I had a problem with that because I know it's not a lot, don't get me wrong, but if you're making $160 every 2 weeks, and if you break that down to $80 a week, at 4 hours a week, you're making $20 an hour, which is above minimum wage.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it came into play, with all due respect to Mr. Ramore, that he was putting 20 hours a week in. I'm not aware of that. I don't think it's logged anywhere he was putting in 20 hours a week to justify times $20 an hour. So I guess, yeah.
And
okay.
that was another issue.
That was another issue.
We
Time
we
card.
just wanted him to document, okay, you say you work 15 hours a week, just at least give us something, like what'd you do Monday for 4 hours?
Yeah.
No, I don't, you should just take my word for it, which is not gonna
Those were
go
his words. You should
go
take
over
my
very
word.
well.
So do we know then, since he is officially gone by his own choosing, are all zoning administrator documents for that, all the building that's gone on in the last 18, 19 months here, in this township hall?
In his office,
I'm sure it's in his office.
when he comes in tomorrow,
Well,
we're gonna
Should be going to
get
clerk.
everything, yes.
Yes,
it should be
absolutely.
in that clerk's office under lock
Yeah.
and key, and we'll check on the other documents as well. The building and administrator should be the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're just kind of waiting on these 2 applications, or
So we've got-
resumes, I should say?
Yeah, we've got 2, I think, you guys should have copies of
They all got their
both
stuff
of them.
about the two.
There's 2 people who are
zoning.
interested, and they have verbally agreed to the proposal we originally gave Robert the first time.
Okay.
So now it's a matter of, you guys want to interview
Yeah, I don't,
them?
is it one lady, Tina something? I don't
Yes.
have her resume at all. I've seen Josh's, I do have that, and I got it from
I
my
put it in your
box.
box. No, I
Yeah.
put both of them in there.
Oh, well, I got Josh's first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wait,
hers was just the other day,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Tina Seagraves went in.
Yeah, and I just checked, this
probably
is
2
everything
days
from
ago.
my box today, so I'll look again.
Okay,
That's fine.
I'll give you one
No,
if
that's
you'd like.
fine.
So
Okay.
we need to figure out, do we want to interview these 2 and make a decision? But I'd like to get a zoning admin on ASAP.
Yeah,
Well, we're thinking about an interview next week, or just before our meeting. Or do we need something special for this? I don't know. First we have to agree. I did checking for 6 different townships, and the zoning administrator in all these places made, the low one was 7,900, the high one was 12,000. So there's a difference.
Yeah.
We thought, let's use a target date of 8,000, because it's divisible pretty easy.
Yep.
And if if we have a good rapport, a raise would be considered. Could be considered. So
Sure.
that's all we said, and both of them said, we'll interview, we'll do whatever you need, and,
are they both from this township?
Josh was the
Josh is,
former-
yeah, he's the former,
Josh
yeah,
was
yeah.
the former guy. She works for Houghton, and I'll give you her thing. I thought
Yeah,
No, it's okay,
she's
that's all right. We
Yes.
can get, we can
she's
deal
got a lot
with
of
it later.
documentation from, she worked
she's
for,
got a lot of stuff.
she worked for, it was the state attorney general. She's done, she's got quite a bit of
Yeah, she's got
background.
a bunch of recommendations, and she has a pretty
Credentials.
good resume.
But it'd be good to have somebody
You-
in place starting September 1st would be,
That's
Absolutely.
what we're hoping
Yeah.
Yeah.
for.
All right, very good, thank you.
We didn't ask that he quit. I don't know, I think he went sniffing around and found out he was grossly underpaid. And Paul had made a provision, we were gonna give him a couple of 3% raises, which I'm one of them, that I don't like the gun being held to my head. I don't like the fact that he did this in November to us, and then, well, he pulled it, because he was gonna quit at that time. So, it is what it is.
Here we
We
are.
have 2 viable candidates, and, would you like them, and I just would take a straw vote, to say, would you like them to be at the board meeting for next week, or would you like an early meeting for them, or?
Well, I got a couple things.
Yeah.
In the situation with the fire chief, the board approved that you 2 negotiate a contract with him. Though I don't remember if it was unanimous or not, but the board approved it. If you 2 were talking to him about potentially giving him more money, I'm curious, was that more money plus the 3%? for the 2 years, or
No.
was it just more money?
There's more money.
Okay.
The 3% was not involved at all.
Because to me, this is a slightly different thing where I think the board is going to have to weigh in on what the wage is going to be, because it's not the rush that we had with the fire chief.
Yeah, right.
The zoning is not a rush?
Oh, I think it's a rush.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a rush, but it's not health and safety related in regards to the fire chief thing. The only reason that I approved that you two guys handle the fire chief was to get it done and get it quick.
Well, this wasn't a negotiation, this was an opening salvo, and when we bring it
I
back
got
to you.
that. So how do we determine what we're going to offer this person
Well, you
as a
said-
board?
Well, that's what I said.
You got a different number, throw it out there. But
I don't
this is-
got one yet.
Well, you guys said you had one, and they both agreed to it for right now, so there's your number. You start
Yeah.
there. If it gains board approval, we move forward with that. It's that simple.
I'm good with that.
I think you should make that motion and make it happen.
We're not at that point yet, because we haven't even interviewed them.
No,
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We need to know what we're going to offer them before we interview.
Yeah,
This is
they
not,
do.
okay, so if $8,000 is on the table, then that's what we're going to offer.
$8,000 a year.
Right. Then if you want to make a motion and say that, then when they come for the interview, there's no, we'll work it out later. This is how much you're
Yeah,
going to get.
no, they're well aware of the number.
they were both aware of the number that we were thinking of, knowing it still had to go for board approval.
Yep.
Knowing that.
Okay.
If you guys only approve 6,000, then that would be the figure. We might lose Josh, but we might have kept the other one.
Let's see, do some math here. Oops. So it's basically a little over doubling what was made prior.
What Robert was,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yep, and when calling around to different townships, we're still on the low end.
oh, absolutely, but you have to consider how many
Yeah.
months out of the year, and that's the whole idea of salary.
Absolutely.
They get paid the same even if they sit home all winter long.
Yeah,
This was what Robert turned down?
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
he didn't even give it a sniff. It took him a week not to take it.
Okay, so double what he was making, what he turned down?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify,
Yep.
make sure. Okay,
So it's time to move on, in my opinion.
okay.
Well,
So you guys took care of this. If one of you would like to make a motion, that would be great, that we agree on the salary cap as it stands right now.
And then interview them
Yep,
With the
Thursday?
possibility
Yep,
Wednesday?
of some kind of a raise in the future, if everything works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
well, we don't want to put the raise in the future there, but that's,
We'll just start with the 8,000.
Yes.
And then
yeah,
we
correct.
can address it when. if
Yep.
so
down
the
road.
ad's over, it's not coming out again this week?
No, 1 week.
Sure. Want to do that?
Yep, they put it together, one of them make the motion.
All right, Greg, you make the motion.
Well, okay. I make the motion that we offer $8,000 a year to the zoning administrator, the new zoning administrator, and I don't, what kind of a term would you like? Couple years? More than that?
Maybe, I would just go with 1. I'll just start with 1.
Okay, let's start with 1 year then.
Or 2, I don't know.
Now, just to throw a wrench in things as I like to do, is there any hours involved with this, so we don't have anyone saying they're not making enough money if they put it in 40 hours and they don't have to?
We discussed it with both of them.
Perfect.
We expect a sheet that tells us how many hours you
Document.
spent at this.
The hours will be documented. But we didn't give them like
Okay,
a hard
No
15 hours a week or,
Wasn't
right.
there
but
something?
the salary is the salary, so
oh, I agree with you.
whether she
Absolutely,
works or he
yeah.
works 50 hours 1 week and
Well, Robert had a
0.
problem with, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah,
Just
well-
real quick, simple math, even if it were 40 hours a week, they're still making $3 above minimum wage, so I'm comfortable with no hours.
Yeah, well, the thing
Yep.
is that he was saying that he puts many more hours in, and that's how he was lowering his costs, but he didn't offer us any of that
Right,
information.
right.
Mm.
And that's fair. I mean, if it ain't in writing, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we won't put the submit hours
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
and stuff like
right.
that,
Nope.
but we will
Nope.
say that at the time.
Yep.
8,000 yearly. And, so I'll make a motion and you'll need, I'll need a second,
I'll second.
okay? And there's money involved, obviously.
Any more discussion?
Any more discussion? Yes.
The only, I don't want to get into a situation, I believe the old one had work at least X amount of hours, up to 9 or something, I don't know. Are we obligated to put hours? I don't know, I'm just, probably between now and then we can find out if we're obligated to put hours.
Okay, well, he had his hours published from 10 to 2 on Tuesday and Thursday.
But that was building
I know
inspector
that.
stuff too, so, but the zoning and the zoning job description, maybe Pam remembers, what? 4 to 9, not to exceed 9, something like that.
Yeah,
And
but if the job takes longer, he's gonna walk away from it? I don't think so.
I don't know, maybe it was, like,
even-
if it takes longer, this isn't enough money, I don't know, we can try. to
No,
figure it out.
I don't think we put hours on it. I mean, because it's gonna vary
If we're
every
not,
month.
if we're not obligated to, I'm fine with it. I can
Yeah, I
find
mean,
out
like, if
we're
there's
obligated.
I did some research on this and, you know, even, you know, here, I definitely was with the MTA. You can certainly pay them salary, and I don't ever remember a salaried position, that requires set hours. If that's the case, all of you sit here in the office as if you're all screwed, because you're not making even minimum wage.
I'm the only one not making it.
We know, we know.
I,
Trust me.
so, I think you're okay. I mean, you know, I mean, you could certainly set hours, I would imagine.
My question is whether that was somehow a mandate.
Well, under the fair,
I'll ask
what is it,
Bela,
FSLA,
you know.
Fair Standards Labor, FL or FS? FL, Fair Labor, yeah, FLSA. I mean, all the research I did when I was speaking with Robert about this, it came down to this question of minimum wage and hours represented and put forth in the whole 9 yards. And if full-time, if, you know, like it's 28 hours and over in the state of Michigan, even at 40 hours, if someone's still at 1667 at that $8,000 a year, I think we're pretty well covered because it bypasses the requirement. Even with the new increase of January of 27, when it goes to $15 an hour, they're still above minimum wage. So if they're only working half that, and that was at 40 hours, if they're at 20 hours a week, now they're at $32 an hour. So I think $50-some an hour we're looking at is sufficient.
All right, just like the TV show Breaking Bad, I'll ask Bela.
Yep, absolutely. There you go.
If we don't have to, we don't have to. We didn't formally vote?
No, we're just,
Okay.
in the discussion stage, so if we don't need any hours in there, let's do a provisional motion. We've got the motion, we got a second, we've had a discussion. We'll need a roll call.
Real quick, if they work 4 hours a week, they're making $166.50 an hour. Half that if they go to 8 hours a week. They're making over $80 an hour. It's $666 a week divided by the hours.
What do you got?
I don't know how you can, 8,000,
I was doing my payroll, so it's 153.
84. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did it by month, sorry. Oops.
153 gross, so less taxes.
So, and then if you, we'll go with the 15, because we talked about that, so that would be 10 hours. So if you went with what you should have, which is
Yeah.
4 hours, minimum 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, in the wintertime, they're not gonna get that time. That's why it's salary.
Yeah.
A lot.
Summers,
Spend in summer,
yeah,
fall, and what's not gonna do in the
all right.
He's definitely gonna put more hours in the summer than he is in the winter, because there's nobody here.
winter. Yes, absolutely.
So what are we gonna do, vote on this now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
got a
I
roll
was
call.
I did
vote.
by month. We wish.
Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Clerk Pern, yes. Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Trustee Monet,
Yay.
and Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
5-0. Okay.
Okay, so next is maintenance crew at the AMVets.
Yeah, so this is just a couple, I want to get your guys' feelings on this, but I was helping them do something over the weekend, install a boiler, helping them install a boiler, and their regular grass cutter hasn't been showing up, and the place just looks bad on the outside, and overgrown brushes, and so I'd just like to get our guys to spend maybe a couple hours one day to mow it, weed whack it.
Where is it at again? I'm sorry.
Post 13.
Oh, okay, post 13, okay.
Yeah, so it was, it just looks bad, and they really don't have the help to do it. But it's not something that needs to be done every week or anything like that, because the grass really doesn't grow a whole lot, so I just wanted to see if you guys would be okay with letting them go over there for a couple hours one day, either this week or next week.
Well, they get paid hourly, correct?
Yeah.
So they'll be compensated. That seems to be a question.
Yeah, it's just, we're just gonna use them.
Now, is there a liability issue?
I wouldn't think so, I mean,
Correct.
private
Yeah.
private property, yeah.
You can't do it unless posters without check.
So why would you be able to mow lawns there without?
If they give you if they give you the okay to do it, it's no different than hiring a company to do it.
Ask Vila. But I do have other issues too.
Yeah.
There's a long list of other stuff. Did they try and put that fish up yesterday, do you know?
No,
Okay.
no.
I don't have a problem helping vets out if it's legal,
Of course not.
because I can imagine somebody might say, why not us? But,
Because you're
as
not.
long as we're not behind in anything, sure. I don't think we are, other than that fish, I think we're somewhat caught up. Well, there's a list, but,
Do they have a mower and weed whacker to use, or you gotta bring your own?
We gotta bring our own equipment.
That's an issue too. Well, maybe not.
well, I can
All right,
find
you
out.
know what? I'm sorry I brought it up. Just forget it.
No,
I'll
that's
take
all
care of
right.
it I'll take care of it on my own. It's fine.
If we can do
No,
it,
never
we
mind,
should help.
scratch it. I'll,
Call me, Kevin, I'll help you.
yeah, we'll take care of it. I don't want it to be a big issue.
I think it's a great idea, Kevin, just so you know, but I mean, I love Googling shit. I'll just read you what I just read really quick.
No, that's fine.
Generally, a Michigan township cannot lawfully expend general public funds or use public maintenance crews to perform work on purely private property. The only exceptions would be under MCL 247.391. So,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
and then I'll go home and do my due diligence and call everyone I know to make sure this is correct. I didn't look it up yet, yeah. But that's what, exactly, and that's what I would look up for sure, because I think it's great. We just had a couple of gentlemen that come to the store all the time that were veterans, and they hung out at these posts all the time, and they passed away very suddenly, so, I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for them, or were not for them, so.
I have a suspicious feeling that Bila's gonna say, if the board wants to, go ahead.
And that's okay, sure.
So I'll ask him.
Yeah.
No, don't bother.
Well, I think I gotta ask him about if we're gonna honor him, I'll ask
Yeah.
him about the
I think we
other
should.
thing too.
One way to honor 'em.
It's a worthy question.
Once again, what's legal and what's not.
I love yard work. I'll go with you, Janet.
Okay, so that is the end of the agenda.
Yep.
So there's a couple of announcements. If I can find them. There we go. First one being, this is an update, oak wilt. Last year, I identified all the oak wilt branches in the parks. We had many discussions. Ended up I do have some knowledge of this, but based on the advice that you gotta get rid of what's there, we got rid of what's there. And it costs a lot of money. Second part would be then you have to deal with the trees that surround the ones that were infected. For your guys' knowledge, and you're gonna remember, we did two different versions. One was to inject them with fungicide at Park 27, which was $1,100 maybe, for a group of trees around the oak wilt one that we took out. The other one was for a group of trees around the other oak wilt, and we fertilized that one instead, under the premise that if the tree has more vitality, they can fight off the oak wilt. I am happy to say both of those worked. The trees surrounding it are looking great. So for this fall, I'm going to suggest fertilizer again because it's cheaper. If we have any suspicious looking areas, we can put that fertilizer around them and give them vim and vigor. I really thought the fertilizer might not work. It did. So as an announcement, I'll bring up to the board early fall the cost of the fertilizer to reapply it in those two areas for sure. The fish sculpture at Phoenix Park, the base is installed now, the armature is there. The crew is going to work on trying to, I say dry fit, that's not the right word, but got to make sure all the pieces actually fit together. So it's going to be a put it up once, probably take it down, screw around. My concern right now is that the welded chain may be off by 15 degrees. Not going to know until we put it up in the air. The way that the pole was mounted is like a light pole. It's adjustable so that you can get it straight. And then also, if it turns out that this fish is so high in the air that it's just not a good look for an art project, we can take that pole down and cut a foot off it over winter and put it right back up. Just put a different base plate on it. So it's an art project, you know, kind of like we'll see. So but that's moving along reasonably good.
I'm gonna try and get them over there tomorrow morning. Richard's gone for the rest of the week after today, vacation. So I'll have JC and Josh go try and.
Yeah, and Richard's the one that, him and I looked at the chains and he understood.
Yeah.
If we have to wait, we can wait, but I mean, he understands what the point was. There's two chains that you cannot, if they're not exactly right, you cannot torque the inside of the fish or you'll break some. You can take the chains down and bend them. They're welded solid.
It's too bad when the pole was first placed there before it was permanently affixed, and this isn't AI, there's plenty of programs that a picture couldn't have been taken and then superimpose the fish on it
Still can.
to decide the correct height.
Actually, we
before
didn't, you're absolutely right. There was no way to do it until we had to get some pine limbs in the background trimmed, which last week he did that.
Sure.
So now I got a clear shot. I think it's going to be too high, but it's solvable for another.
Well, no one's gonna steal it.
Well, remember, if it's too low and somebody takes a flying leap at it and breaks the fin off it.
Yep.
Anyway, all of that's
Yep.
moving along. I can be around tomorrow if you want, or I can wait till Richard's back.
It doesn't matter to me. Do you wanna wait till he's back?
I have faith that Richard understands rather than me trying to explain it all again.
All right, how about we'll do it, wanna do a Monday?
Sure, that'll work. Give me a little time because putting shrubbery under this thing, existing 3-foot tall stuff, is one of the ways to keep people from getting under it and trying to do something to it.
I just throw in some stinging nettle. It'll keep them away.
Well, we got it where we put it. They have to if you take a running leap at it and come off of the high ground to get it, you're gonna go right over the wall and kill yourself.
Oh, jeez.
So,
We need
okay,
that.
the last summer
Yes.
concert is this Saturday. I would encourage anyone, any age to go. Great band, great time. The sun will be setting, and that'll be the end. Clean Lakes, Clean Water demonstration. Again, this is slated for Saturday, 9/5 at Samoset at 11, Phoenix at 12:15.
Yep.
Big crowds keep the grantees happy, So we're hoping to get pictures of the presentation with a lot of people there and their signs in the background and all of that. I don't have anything else.
I'll add one thing to your last summer concert here. That's the best band I heard last year. That was really wonderful. It's Motor City Memories, and I would say, when I stopped counting, I counted at 94 cars last year. That's how many were parked over there and down the street. So they were estimating 250, 275, 300 people. Get there a little early. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I just hope the weatherman is cooperative.
Another thing while we're on it, last week was a Friday concert. Huge turnout. Huge. Raised a lot of questions that we'll have to consider over winter. This is a lake resort community. On Saturdays, they want to be on the water. They load their boat up. They go out there. They stay out there. Fridays do not have that problem. People get out of work, get a fish dinner, whatever. I was amazed. We had 3 rows of cars. We've never had more than 2. So I was afraid, well, nobody's going to come because it's a Friday. And then it turned out maybe that's, in the future, we might want to consider that Fridays are a better choice.
Well, and for a lot of locals, because I hear this stuff at the store, and it's a fact. It is what it is that maybe they'd rather go out on Friday before all the tourists get here Friday night, and then Saturday's so bogged down, they're just over them. So therefore, the locals would,
It's worth
I
considering.
mean, yeah. I mean,
The-
Did fans
it's
have a
fact.
preference when you were talking to them? Did they care whether?
No,
it was
not
Saturday?
really. I've always tried to avoid it being in competition with Trestle Park, which is Thursday.
Oh.
Gaylord has a 4-month summer concert thing. But theirs are on Fridays, but Gaylord's a long ways away.
Oh, geez,
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Roscommon has been doing some Wednesdays. I wanted to talk with Jim Perry Ellis about that too, to make sure that, trying to coordinate between him so that we're not on the same day for anything, just as common sense. Anyway, it was surprising. There was a ton of people there. I got nothing else.
I got one thing, I don't know if, in case anybody didn't read the Houghton Lake Resorter, there was a nice article in there about the chief, last Thursday's edition.
Yep.
Front page,
Open house, Saturday.
and there's an open house Saturday,
8 to
this
11
Saturday.
At the firehouse.
Meet and greet, yep,
This Saturday?
Yes.
8 to 11.
Did Lori get that on Facebook or don't we know?
I'm sure she did because he brought in.
We've got the
some
flyers out
pictures, but I'll
there.
make
Oh, if he
sure.
was here today, she probably did. Yeah. That's another thing. Lori does an outstanding job for peanuts. We might have to address
Geez,
that.
I've been giving her a check. I didn't know she wanted peanuts too. You're right, she does do a very nice job.
She's ahead of the game and doesn't have to be. I like that. Any other announcements from the board? Okay, that moves us into public comment. Who would like to come up and say what is on their mind today? Step right up.
How do I do this? Just push the button?
If you push it, something, there you go, you should be good. You don't have to get too close.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Should be all right.
Okay. Jan Krieger, Lyon Township. I just want to know, have we put anything in writing against data centers?
I can answer that because it is on the list for the board meeting for the possibility of moratoriums on data centers and large storage units in certain areas. And I know Mr. Monet has explained this before. All that does is say, we're going to stop and think about this and start doing some research, and stops it.
Do we even got enough room in Lyon Township for one of those?
It isn't that, it's that the state, what is it, Regulatory Commission can put them on state land. There is certainly some pushback from Osabo Township, maybe Nestor. There's some, people are going around interviewing the supervisors and saying, what do you think the state of Michigan can do for you? 2 of the supervisors said we got to get out from under this where they can tell us exactly what they want to do in the surrounding area around it. Will that stop them? No. But a moratorium, and certainly, and I got a problem with putting big storage units up right on the side of the roads that get traveled a lot.
Me too.
If they're back, I don't care where they are, but you know how they are in Garish.
It's an eyesore, I'm sorry.
Anyway, Roscommon Township did a moratorium on storage units. I believe Pam was looking into what Richfield did for data centers, and didn't it turn out they never voted on it? They were talking about it and never.
According to they went to the planning commission, and according to the planning commission, they kind of based it off of what was on MTA's website.
We,
They sent it to their attorney approved it, and then they
I am,
did not see that.
no, I'm a big fan of finding one and stealing it from another township.
In their,
There's, go ahead. But I was going to bring that up next week. We'll see. It's not, we already did one on solar farms. Won't stop them, but on the solar farms, we joined a bigger group of townships and counties that were against that.
Thank you, Janet.
Any other public comment?
Patty Dombrowski, Lyon Township. I've been at a lot of the meetings, and it seems like we spend an inordinate amount of time with the zoning administrator. And my concern now that I hear you say that you know of 3 people that are backlogged, there's soon to be, well, one for sure, and certainly another one shortly that I'm aware of, and that's just 2 people sitting here. One of these projects needs to be done before winter. Now I have a serious concern. Can that happen? Can you give me any reassurance that if you hire a new person, that maybe they can work extra hours for extra pay to catch up for what's happened in the last few months?
Yeah, I would, I mean, if we get this done next week, to be honest, I mean, when the guy who previously had the job just up and quits and then waits a week, that'd put us back to get back to us, so I don't see why, what if we hire, if the person gets in next week, start the work right now. And
And I'm not so sure that they would need extra hours because,
it's
I
just,
mean, unfortunately, it's a formality. All the zoning admin does is look at setbacks, lot size,
Yeah,
is it
it's not-
conforming, non-conforming, and gives the
I
go-ahead.
mean-
Everything else is all building inspector, and that's already in place, so.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't-
think it would be that big of an issue for them to catch up in a
Yeah.
10-hour work week.
especially
Me.
these, both of these are experienced and
Yes,
have done this,
yes.
so.
And they are qualified. Yep. Yeah, everyone's on hold. You're right, absolutely. And it's funny because the word's gotten around, these people know, I've heard,
Yeah.
that they can't get the zoning, you know, and wait, and I do know of one in particular, I won't mention names, we'll hear about it eventually. It's probably gonna go in front of the ZBA. Well, that can't happen until the zoning admin says no, and there's no zoning admin to say no to do that, so you're right, it's gotta be done, yeah. We will.
One of
I'm going-
them-
I'm, Jake,
One of the ones that I got was, the guy bought a lot or 2 lots, wanted to buy 3 off an auction that are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and wanted to know what he could do with it or not do with it. And I forwarded that to you guys, to Julie, and Julie did answer him. You can look this stuff up. But that's like, you're in the middle of nowhere, you're fine,
yeah,
other
Yeah.
than building codes.
yeah, right,
But
absolutely.
yeah, there's probably a couple other ones. Well, it'll get done as quick as we can get it done.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Thanks, Patty. Hey, John.
Actually, I think we moved on this the fastest out of anything we've ever done. The zoning administrator.
Sometimes it takes government a long time to do nothing.
You can,
We're still waiting
Come on
on
up,
the state
John.
of Michigan for several
Wow.
things, are we?
yeah.
John Barter, Lyon Township. Afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, as far as the leaf ordinance, I think that's a great idea, by the way. I don't think I would call it a leaf ordinance, though. And, you know, blowing stuff, I think, you know, you see a lot of people taking stuff over in the woods, and they're just, however that might cover that. But the idea of also blowing snow, I mean, we see a lot of people who are blowing snow out into the road as well.
Oh, yeah, now it's green.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, there we go.
Cool.
But the idea of blowing snow out in the road, I mean, is
Yeah,
nearly
that's-
as hazardous or
absolutely.
more.
Hazardous is right.
Yeah, so,
You mean I can't do that?
We might have to curb that ordinance.
What?
For a few different
Nobody
things,
was down
I would think. Maybe,
And as it's thought, and, you know, I mean, it's just blowing it, I mean, people carry it, I mean, leaves, they'll carry stuff.
Yeah.
They're not blowing.
What about like a waste disposal ordinance, and then we define what waste means for that ordinance?
Right.
So it's not so just like leaves,
Whatever
it's,
actions
yeah,
they
yeah,
carry
yeah.
that are blowing it.
Sure.
Snow is something, I don't know if you want to include in that or something different, but
I think-
certainly an issue.
yeah,
Yep.
that's dangerous. That's probably worse
Absolutely it
than
is.
leaves.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Any other last comments? Hey. Bruce, are you wanting to say something too?
No, I want to stand up for my doctor.
Oh, you're like
Oh,
him.
I heard that story before.
I think the battery's dead, almost dead. First, I want to congratulate you guys for doing a great meeting. Second thing is, I want to talk about the minutes. The reason the minutes are so important is because they are the law. They're set in stone. Once minutes are done, that's it. We found out you can't go back and, thank you. You can't go back and change them unless it's at the next meeting. You can't amend them. But it's very important, and one of the reasons that you have to make sure that they get in the paper accurately is like Richfield. You were just talking about the moratorium. I looked up their minutes and I couldn't find where they approved it, but I found where they motioned it, but it doesn't show that they voted on it. So I contacted the planning commission and they're gonna send me their copy of what was approved and put into the paper. So I'll talk to the clerk about fixing the minutes that are online.
Good, then we can steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing, you were talking about veterans, I just want to let you know that the Vietnam Moving Wall will be at Chesaning at the Showboat on September 4th through the 7th.
Where's it going to be again?
At Chesaning at the Showboat.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It might be on the way through here also, but my sister-in-law lives down there, so she's the one that sent me that.
Nice.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys will get your revised copy. This is her work, by the way, not mine.
Is this
And
adjourned?
all that I missed, buttheads.
No, is this, we adjourn?
Well, there we go. I
I'll
will second
I'll
that.
second, doesn't matter.
Okay, any discussion?
No?
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. We are done.
2:45.
Every once in a while.